Jimmy and the Desperate Woman. He's very fine and strong somewhere, but he does need a level-headed woman to look after him. That was the friendly feminine verdict upon him. It flattered him, it pleased him, it galled him. Having divorced a very charming and clever wife, who had held this opinion for 10 years, and at last had got tired of the level-headed protective game, his gall was uppermost. I want to throw Jimmy out on the world, but I know the poor little man will go and fall on some woman's bosom. That's the worst of him. If he could only stand alone for 10 minutes, but he can't. At the same time, there is something fine about him, something rare. This had been Clarissa's summing up as she floated away in the arms of the rich young American. The rich young American got rather angry when Jimmy's name was mentioned. Clarissa was now his wife, but she did sometimes talk as if she was still married to Jimmy. Not in Jimmy's estimation, however. That worm had turned. Gall was uppermost, gall and wormwood. He knew exactly what Clarissa thought and said about him, and the something fine, something rare, something strong, which he was supposed to have about him, was utterly outbalanced, in his feelings at least, by the poor little man nestled upon some woman's bosom, which he was supposed to be. I am not, he said to himself, a poor little man nestled upon some woman's bosom. If I could only find the right sort of woman, she should nestle on mine. Jimmy was now 35, and at this point to nestle or to be nestled was the emotional crux and turning point. He imagined to himself some really womanly woman to whom he should be only fine and strong, and not for one moment the poor little man. Why not some simple, uneducated girl, some Tess of the d'Urbervilles, some wistful Gretchen, some humble Ruth, gleaning an aftermath? Why not? Surely the world was full of such. The trouble was, he never met them. He only met sophisticated women. He never really had a chance of meeting real people. So few of us ever do. Only the people we don't meet are the real people, the simple, genuine, direct, spontaneous, unspoilt souls. All the simple, genuine, unspoilt people we don't meet. What a tragedy it is. Because of course they must be there, somewhere, only we never come across them. Jimmy was terribly handicapped by his position. It brought him into contact with so many people, only never the right sort. Never the real people, the simple, genuine, unspoilt, etc., etc. He was editor of a high-class, rather highbrow, rather successful magazine, and his rather personal, very candid editorials brought him shoals, swarms, hosts of admiring acquaintances, realized that he was handsome and could be extraordinarily nice when he liked, and was really very clever in his own critical way, and you see how many chances he had of being adored and protected. In the first place, his good looks, the fine, clean lines of his face, like the face of the laughing fawn in one of the fawn's unlaughing, moody moments, the long, clean lines of the cheeks, the strong chin, and the slightly arched full nose, the beautiful dark grey eyes with long lashes, and the thick black brows. In his mocking moments, when he seemed most himself, it was a pure pan face, with thick black eyebrows cocked up, and grey eyes with a sardonic goaty gleam, and nose and mouth curling with satire, a good-looking, smooth-skinned satire. That was Jimmy at his best, in the opinion of his men friends. In his own opinion, he was a sort of martyred Saint Sebastian, at whom the wicked world shot arrow after arrow.